Hi guys. The level of desperation in this country is just so devastating. Well, you could say that with the one chance of menace in Abuja is not pretty much a new thing, so to speak. It's been there even when the country looked good. Just like you're saying that crime has always been there, and because of that, once in a while it happens. But the level of hunger right now in town, people just go out there, do whatever they want to do, no matter whether it is legitimate or not legitimate, just to make some quick money. And it's so sad. So many persons have raised concern about this one chance situation in Abuja. I remember in between 2011 and 2014, while I was on one of the radio stations, I actually hosted a program called Crime Reporters. Crime Reporters, or is it Crime Radio? And so many persons were it's just basically a program where I'd open the phone lines, reel out some crime stories earlier on the show, and then allow people to also tell me about the crime that they experienced within their vicinity. And so many persons at that time spoke about how they have been defrauded of their large sums of monies or their belongings just by entering a vehicle, hoping to get to their destination. And sometimes most of them don't get to their destinations. Some are beaten, wounded, and also thrown out of the vehicle, the moving vehicle. I remember clearly there was a certain story on the radio. I think this is over 10 years ago now. A certain story on the radio where the guy said he entered the vehicle. I can't remember from where to where now, but he entered the vehicle, and what was being said was stunning. He kept hearing argument about dollar, pounds, sterling, and then he didn't know what it was. And then he also saw a strange move. They were going through a particular route that he wasn't going into. So what he did was he began screaming at the top of his voice. He, began shouting and calling attention of people. And then the people who were all of a sudden arguing about dollars and pounds, now stopped and they were asking him what was the problem, why was he shouting. And then he said that the route that they were taking wasn't his route, that said he was going to this particular place. And then they told him that they're not going to through that particular route, and that was how he got saved. That was how he got down from the vehicle, and he started looking for another vehicle. And so some persons came up and was asking him what the problem was, and he narrated the story only to be told that he got saved, that if not, maybe he would have been a victim of one of those one chance operators. Another story that I remember that was told, it's a true life story, in fact. It happened to a very close person. You know how Lagos can be busy, and some persons take advantage of the very bad transportation net system in Lagos. And so what they do is they just drive from their homes with their own personal private vehicles, and then they pick up people and then they drop them off while they're way to work. So it's more like you're using one stone to kill two birds, that kind of thing. So on this particular day, the guy who was telling the story, that the Toyota Camry was very, very neat. That Toyota could pass for a brand new vehicle, because you could literally tell that the leather wasn't fully pulled out, and so it was so clear that there was no reason to ever think that these guys in there are fraudulent. And the other thing was that there was a guy that entered before him. So someone in front, then someone at the back. Then they were looking for just two passengers to complete. So that there's somebody who entered the vehicle from that same junction that he did enter, and it was just unlike him. After 3 to 4 minutes of driving into the journey, All of a sudden, he felt so dizzy and asleep. Yes, he literally fell asleep. Do they think he heard to wake up? It was a loud bang on his face. We're just slapping the head out of him, the beating, and he was asking, what did he do? What did he do? And they told him to offload everything in his pocket, and give them virtually everything, including his phone. And then they pushed him off a running vehicle. They could come in different forms. They could come in different styles. They could come in different styles. Some even go as far as bringing in a woman. Yes, they go that far. Putting in a woman to make it look so fantastic. Say, for instance, in the case of the man's story in Lagos, it could be a lady who was sitting at the edge of that particular vehicle. So it's have you and the other person coming in. It might be also that the person in front, of course, almost always, is part of the whole gang. And then it could also be that the person who got into the vehicle with you from that junction was also working with them. So there's a whole lot around it. And it's difficult to even tell anyone to be careful. How careful can you really be when a vehicle is not very well numbered, brand new, and that they're heading towards your direction, and then the next thing that they're not getting you to your destination, or they're robbing you in the middle of your destination, on the middle of the journey. So it is somewhat something that I think we should look into very properly. It's really sad that this is happening. But in any case, let's tell you a little bit about the story that is on. Let's tell you a little bit about the story that's going on right now before I actually have my thoughts on this particular issue. Chaos erupted in Lugbe along the airport road in Abuja as two notorious one-chance operators met their fate at the hands of the enraged residents. The viral video making rounds on social media paints a gruesome picture. Bloodied, stripped naked, and brutally beaten, the criminals faced the full wrath of an angry mob before their getaway vehicle was set ablaze. For years, one-chance robbery has plagued Abuja, with unsuspecting commuters falling victim into gangs who pose as taxi operators only to rob, assault, and in some cases kill their passengers. This latest incident highlights growing public concerns and frustrations, and a dangerous trend of jungle justice, and security operatives were nowhere in sight while the scene unfolded. The police reacting to the story once again, one-chance story once again urged commuters to be vigilant, only board registered vehicles and report suspicious activities, but with residents taking the law into their hands or into their own hands. The question remains, how much longer will Abuja streets remain unsafe? Well, okay, so let's take it up from the part of jungle justice. We've seen how terrible jungle justice can go, how bad jungle justice can go. The Alufo comes to mind. What happened in Port Harcourt a few years ago, where 4 persons were mistaken to be armed robbers and killers and cultists, and they were mobbed, only to find out later that those who were actually killed were actually those who were innocent. So jungle journalism, it's never a good thing to do. It's never a good thing to do. It's a good thing first that you have apprehended a thief or apprehended a suspect, but it's the police job to prosecute him and bring him to justice. In as much as this is painful, I know there's always this dichotomy that comes with issues relating to matters like this. It is also very important to state clearly, I don't support crime. I don't support people beating people and collecting their belongings and collecting their monies while in the process But then again, I also don't support jungle justice. You are not guilty until a competent court of jurisdiction, says that you are. So nobody should take laws into their hands and kill people all in the name of having caught them in the art. You'll be shocked that sometimes when you go to the court, there are certain revelations that could be made that might even exonerate them, give them another chance to live. So it's not really nice, stripping them naked, beating them, and bloodying them this way. But then again, I also condemn crime. If you have your two legs and your two arms complete, even those who don't even have those, still do a lot of things for themselves. Still go as far as doing great exploits for themselves. So I wonder why someone who will be, a complete human being, a man, in this day and age, people are seeking to even make ends meet. You become a thorn in their flesh further by robbing them while you are,